Okay, now we have John Slate and Willis Winters to talk about the depository, and then they're going to roll right into Dealey Plaza. So they're actually doing two sites. So.
Just do this, I'll do the other.
Good evening. We're going to sort of play tag team with this a little bit, and I'm going to start with the Texas School Book Depository. It's a fascinating building. The actual original building that was on this site, this is not it, but it was built in 1883 as the Southern Rock Island Plow Company and fit in very nicely with the other buildings in the area, which were in large measure agricultural implement warehouses. So that's kind of what this started life as. But in 1901, it was the 1883 building had been struck by lightning and nearly burned to the ground. In fact, I've seen a photograph of actually sort of the pile of rubble of it. I'm still trying to relocate it, but it was rebuilt later that year, except that it had been expanded to 7 stories, and the first building was only 5 stories high. But it is essentially a commercial Romanesque revival style building. I'm trying to think of other examples of buildings like that. The Butler Brothers building, which is at 500 Hervey, is another example of a very similar vintage type building that has the characteristic arched windows. But here's some other views of it. These are a couple of views from the Dallas Morning News, and this is an especially nice one because it shows the John Deere building across the street from it, which is, of course, still standing. A lot of people know it today as the Daltex building, and it is the home of the administrative offices of the 6th floor museum at Dealey Plaza. But let's see. There are a number of vintage photographs taken of the interior of the School Book Depository that were our first day evidence photography that was made by the Dallas Police Department on November 22nd. So as far as the museum being able to recreate that corner of the building, it was not hard because of the incredible amount of documentation. This is actually an office area. This is the break room, which is where Oswald was located minutes after the shooting. Here's a stairway. It's just, some of these are a little mundane, but at least they're documentation of the original condition of the building as it appeared in 1963. And of course, here it is looking towards the window in the area of the sniper's nest. And the photos are an amazing set of photos because almost none of them have people in them. And it's just sort of just, I don't know, a little unnerving to think of what happened and so forth. But the boxes were left, of course, in place and photographed carefully. And let's see, if this is a one particularly special photograph, because if you look in, let's see, where's the pointer? If you look right here, you can see shell casings. And that's, of course, was important for police evidence purposes. This is an infamous, another controversial photograph that was taken. If you look to the window to the left, when it's been reproduced many times, it gets very muddy and has a sort of it looks like it's been blacked out, so hence many conspiracies surrounding this photograph. But it's actually, we own the original negative, and if you look at it carefully, it's just simply that part of the county records building is simply in shadow. But the buildings had a number of different signs atop it. Most people, of course, think about the Hertz sign that was on there on November 22nd, but it's also had a sign for Ford automobiles. It also had this U.S. Royal Tires sign on it. There's the Hertz sign actually after being dismantled, which is, I believe, still at the 6th floor museum. But anyhow, the museum went through a number of different, or the building went through a number of different owners, many wilder than you can imagine stories involving the characters who owned them, including D. Harold Bird. But, and I won't even tell the story of the window because the window has been removed, and there are a number of people, several parties that claim to know, to have the original window, and I've been trying to sell it, and so it keeps popping up for auction every few years. Whoops, before I get there. But anyhow, Dallas County now took on the building, and they bought it in the late 70s and took their time with the restoration of it and doing a lot of fundraising to create what is now the 6th floor museum at Dealey Plaza. But Dallas County now occupies the first 5 floors with administrative office. This is where the Dallas County Commissioner's office out of. And the museum opened as a tribute to Kennedy in 1989, and of course serves as a reminder of what happened on that day. I don't have a photograph of it here, but I would be remiss in not mentioning the beautiful reading room that was opened on the ground floor in 2010. It's a beautiful environment, and it's very modern and has a wonderful set of reference books on Kennedy, on the assassination, and things like that. But it's a fascinating building, and thank goodness it's protected. It's got an actual tie to the origins of the City Landmark Commission, because in the early 70s there were a number of calls to try to tear it down and take away this ugly reminder of Dallas's past, but there were some very courageous souls such as Wes Wise who spoke against it and were managed to keep the wrecking ball away. But as you know now, the building has gone through all kinds of renovations and treatments. The exhibits have been updated significantly. It's a fantastic place, and it's of course a centerpiece of Dealey Plaza as a place to visit, which is only second to the Alamo as far as Texas tourist sites. So now I'm going to have Willis join me, and we'll talk a little bit about Dealey Plaza.